What's going on, guys? It's Josh here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the best digital tools you need to have in 2023 to maximize your productivity. Whether you're doing digital marketing, social media content creation, software engineering, it doesn't matter. If you are doing anything in the digital space, it is essential that you know about these tools and use them to maximize the benefit of them to you. Now, I know you've probably seen ChatGPT literally everywhere, but I can't stop talking about it because it is such an amazing product. Truly, it is changing the game for how we operate on the internet and how we operate our businesses and software in general. The fact is, if you're not using ChatGPT in 2023, you're going to be left in the dust. Now, over the past couple of weeks, as this product has been circulating throughout the internet, as I'm sure you've seen, people have really been figuring out the potential and what it can be used for. If you're not familiar with what ChatGPT is, it's essentially a chatbot online that generates insanely complex and very well-written answers to all the questions you may ask. Now, it doesn't have the answer for everything, but unlike previous models of AI, which just scraped content from the internet and then repurposed it into what you were using, ChatGPT is actually a predictive learning language model in that it simply regurgitates the information that it thinks you want to hear. Now, many people have been using this for fun, and quite frankly, it's very fun to play with. But if you look beyond the surface, it is an amazing tool that can help kickstart and really accelerate the fact of whatever you're doing in the digital space. The fact is, I asked it to generate 10 YouTube titles for this video, and then when I found a YouTube title I liked, I asked it to generate 10 variations until I found one I was satisfied with. Now, I could have spent all that time sitting down and really thinking about these ideas and checking out the click-through rates and things like that, but ChatGPT already has that for me. I can simply ask it these questions and it gives me the information in an easy to understand and digest way, and that makes it infinitely easier and quicker to generate the content that I want to create. It also works for code too. If you're building an API and you need a specific schema, instead of managing all the schemas yourself, you can simply generate a template using ChatGPT. It takes the previous information it's learned and regurgitates that information as something that is exactly what you want. So although it's not perfect, it is very well close to being. Now, for the moment, it is in its free research phase, which does mean that you get to access it for free, but at some point it will be monetized in the future. I know for me though, when it does eventually become monetized, I'm going to continue to buy it however much it costs, because this tool has simply transformed the way I operate and how I manage my time efficiency. The possibilities are endless. You can enter all of the things you want to do that day, and it will give you a nice clean schedule oriented for effective time management. You could ask it some questions. Heck, you can even ask it to give you a pep talk. AI is going to continue to become a greater part of our lives as it slowly integrates into what we are doing, and you can either get with it or get left behind. I know it's a controversial opinion to take, but with a tool as useful as this, there's simply no denying it. ChatGPT is the start of something great, and it is essential to add to your arsenal. Now, I know some of you may laugh because I have taken quite a while to get onto this train, but now that I've started using Canva, it is absolutely essential for any graphic design. For a software engineer like myself that needs to create visually appealing and intuitive user interfaces, Canva is an amazing tool for creating the basics and laying those mockups down for me. I also use it for thumbnails, social media content posts, and a ton of other things. Now, although I do pay for Canva's premium plan, the free version can get you by just nicely. Comparing Photoshop to Canva here is like comparing apples to oranges, but for someone like myself who was using Photoshop to create thumbnails in the past, Photoshop has become replaced with Canva because Canva has all the basic tools I need, let alone the templates alone. So I can create thumbnails now, user interfaces, and more, all in a quick and easy to understand time span. It's essential that I've added this to my arsenal, and it's saving me a ton of time thus far. Now, the surprising tool on this list that I really didn't think was going to increase my productivity, but surprisingly did more than anything else in this list, was an app called Forest. Now, if you haven't used Forest before, here's a simple premise of it. It essentially is an app where you press a button, you start a timer, you want to have a productivity session, and it starts to grow a tree. A little digital virtual tree for you. However, if you leave the application halfway through or before the timer's done, that tree will wither away and die. Now, if you're someone like me who has used screen time in the past to try and limit my use in specific applications, only to find myself going, remind me in 10 minutes, remind me in 10 minutes, anyway, you get the picture, you would know that staying on track and on top of your tasks can be a difficult thing. And this is despite the fact that there are safeguards in place. There are productivity tools like screen time with the sole purpose of reducing the amount of time you're spending on applications, and then it's not fun and you spent 4 hours scrolling through TikTok and you're like, I've done nothing in my day. I really hope that's not just me, because like if it is, no, it's not just me. That's not just me, right? But how brilliant is it that a small little virtual tree, something that has seemingly inconsequential effect on my life in the long run, can have so much effect on the short-term productivity that I experience. It's a tool that I can use to stop getting caught in scrolling, and for me, that's essential, that's huge. And such a little app with a little virtual tree on it could be enough to increase your performance immensely in the new year.